I'd like to offer a perspective today on clearing. But first, I'll introduce my cat Zippy, who has joined me here, and his presence is welcome and appreciated. So, we're talking about clearing, which is something that many of us on the path of awakening are quite familiar with. The idea is that we're clearing painful, false, limiting beliefs that have obscured our understanding, our vision, our recognition of who we truly are. So, we're clearing away these, again, false and painful beliefs. And it's certainly true that when we do that, when we shift from the state of being that we experience in separation consciousness, which has feelings like frustration and anger and fear and anxiety and worry, when we shift from that to the vibrations that are available to us in unity consciousness, joy and peace and excitement and expansion and delight, well, that transition feels very expansive. It feels we feel lighter, we feel more open, we feel more clear. So it definitely feels like we've cleared something. And yet what's really happening is we are shifting our state of being. It's more analogous to changing channels. So we've been watching programs, living in programs on channel 3, and we want to be on channel 5. Well, we don't need to clear channel 3. We just need to be on channel 5. And that requires intentionality and choice. And it can be practiced moment by moment by moment. And the reason I'm making this distinction is that when we continue to think in terms of clearing, what can happen, and I've seen this happen many times over the years, is that the focus becomes on that which needs to be cleared. And the focus on that which needs to be cleared keeps all those things, all those thought patterns active because we're focusing on them. And as we focus on them, similar thoughts, memories, so forth will continue to come into our awareness because that's the way energy works. And so it becomes this never-ending process, never-ending search. And also, it can reinforce the idea that there is something wrong with us, something that has to be fixed. And that whole idea only exists in separation consciousness. It certainly does not exist in unity consciousness. I think it's really helpful to be mindful of not just the language that we're using, but the metaphors that we're using for this journey, on this journey. And clearing, the idea of clearing was tremendously helpful early on when we were living in the darkness and density of separation consciousness, and we became aware that it was our beliefs, our false and painful beliefs that were obscuring our vision. The idea of clearing those away made sense and was a great place to get started. But now that we've been on this journey for a while, if we continue to think in terms of clearing, well, again, what might happen is that we become inadvertently focused on what's wrong with us. You get another painful belief, you get another judgmental thought, and we can get in the habit of just focusing on the very things that are on the channel we no longer wish to be on. So rather than thinking in terms of clearing, I suggest that we just think in terms of being on channel 5. Let's change the channel. Now, unlike our TVs and our remote controls, it isn't as simple as pressing a button. But the concept is that we can choose in any moment to be on channel 5. We can ask ourselves questions such as, how might I love myself right here and right now? Where am I now willing to give myself permission to follow my passion, my heart's pure desires, my excitement, my joy? How can I bring joy to this moment? How might I cultivate a greater sense of inner peace? So we orient ourselves, we ask questions of ourselves, we look for ways to support ourselves in being on channel 5, moment to moment to moment. And the more often we do that, the stronger and more stable those vibrational thought patterns and experiences become. So it's easier and easier to stay on channel 5. And we're less likely for our tuners to wobble back down to channel 3. I realize that's a relatively simple, may seem simplistic concept, and yet I have learned about the power of perspective. Literally everything we're experiencing is a result of our perspective. And our perspectives shape our perceptions, and our perceptions become our reality. So the perspective we hold on the journey itself, the journey of transformation, is really important.
And again, while the idea of clearing is certainly valid and it has been helpful, I think at this point it has been overused and it can inadvertently keep us stuck. So rather than clearing, let's just be on channel 5. Let's just practice being on channel 5.